Hello and welcome to another Wednesday on the Den. My name is Aaron. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning and I've just taken Chris to work in Ashton. I need to go back to bed. So this week on the Den we are talking about body issues. But first, Sunday saw our last video from Spencer Jim Spence. And it's really sad to see Spencer go because he was one of our first bears on the channel. And he's always been a very large part of the channel, has cared so much. And it's just really sad to see him go. All I'd really like to say, Spencer, is good luck. And you know we're always here. You know there's always a space for you on the Den. Spencer was a huge part of this channel, and for the moment, at the very least, we are keeping the Sunday spot empty. Who knows, in the new year we may open auditions, we may fill the weekends. I know me and Eric have talked about having things like a pool of bears that do bonus videos on a Saturday, so potentially we may have a group of people that do Saturday and Sunday videos rather than one person. But who knows? Until the new year, when we can kind of regroup a bit. We love Spencer to pieces, so we'd like to give his day a little bit of breathing room and space for the moment, please. Anyway, so on to today's video. Today's video is about body issues. Now, originally, I was not going to be doing this video. Chris was going to be doing it. The reason that I didn't want to do it is because I've had a lot of issues around my body for the majority of my life, and it gets quite emotional with me, and it's something that I don't like talking about. But then thinking about it, that's probably what this week and this video really needs to be about. You know, it's great to be body positive and blah blah blah, and I know that there are people out there that'll say I'm full of bullshit, you know, you're a handsome guy and blah blah blah, you're talking shit, blah. You're entitled to that opinion, but you don't know what it's like to be me, to live my life completely. You know, I put a lot of myself out there, but you haven't lived my life, you haven't been in my shoes all of my life, and I haven't been in yours, so I can't fully say that's right, that's wrong of your life experiences, because I don't know everything about you. Please, when I talk about this, it is quite a hard topic for me to talk about. Please go into it with an open mind and not thinking, this is bollocks, what's he talking about, he doesn't have confidence issues. Because it has taken me a lot to get to the point where I am today. And although now I might seem confident, I might outwardly output a positive demeanour, it's taken me a lot to get to that point. So for a lot of people, out of my friends at least, they didn't get big or fat, or whatever you want to call it, until later in life, until they were adults. They went through school being thin or average sized, and then it wasn't until later when they actually put on weight. I was the fat kid. I was the kid who was fat, who had abnormally large feet. I played the flute, I liked theatre, I liked art, I was a bit geeky, and I hated things like sports and football and whatever else. So, from a very young age, I was classed as the gay boy, and I was bullied incessantly about my size and about my weight. From a very young age, I remember people commenting on it, taking the piss out of me, saying, why aren't you thinner? Why can't you do anything about it? I think most people will know if they have a weight problem. There is a certain amount of control that you've got, but it's not just as easy as just waking up and going, I'm going to make a change today. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to lose weight. It is not that fucking easy. From the age of, I don't know, 10, 11, my weight was more than my age. I was ending my GCSEs in high school, so let's say that I was 16, 17, I was near enough 20 stone. And that was huge. And to be honest, most of my adult life I've been somewhere between 18 to 22. Depending on if I'm trying to lose weight or not. And if I'm honest, if I was 18 and I could stay at 18 all the time, I'd be happy. Bullying is different for every person. Sometimes it's the whole water off a duck's back. It's just words. It doesn't mean anything. Just let it pass over you. Blah. You're bigger than this. You're stronger. And sometimes it really hits home. It's personal. It hurts. And you can't help but getting upset over it. For me, that's what the majority of my bullying has been. You know, it's very hard for me to disconnect, and when people are winding me up or taking the piss, it's very hard for me not to take it personally. Very hard for me to turn it into oh, they're just pissing around, they're just having a joke. Admittedly, I've got better at it over the years. I take things with a pinch of salt and it doesn't affect me as much, but one of the biggest problems for me growing up was when I was being bullied for my size. The way that I deal with that is that I'd eat my problems and therefore increase the cycle and make things worse, because I'm eating my problems and putting more problems onto my body. For a very, 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 very long time, I thought no one will ever like me, no one will ever want me. I couldn't see that I would ever have a girlfriend or boyfriend. I would never have a long-term relationship. I wouldn't get married, I wouldn't have kids, and basically I'd die alone because of my size. But at the same time, I just couldn't do anything about it, and there are some people out there that go, bollocks, you can do something about it. All you have to do is have the motivation and the right attitude to it, and I'm sorry, it's not that easy. Yes, you can choose to be happy, yes, you can choose to have motivation, but when you've been broken down by so many people telling you that you can't do it and that you're going to be a fat, useless waste of space for the rest of your life, it's not just as easy as going, I'm going to make a change today. Well, the problem with change is that you have to change your lifestyle when you lose weight. You have to change a lot about yourself. You have to do things that you don't normally do, and you have to make a conscious effort to keep it up. So when you're losing weight, it is a real big commitment, and sometimes that's really hard, especially when you're working shifts, when your shifts are different every single day of the week, every week on week. You're working different shifts and you've got no routine that you can go to the gym on or have food at exactly the same time, and it's really hard to fit in, and that's what I've always found really difficult. I don't have time to do it. Weight really affects you in a lot of ways. And some of the biggest things that I've had problems with in terms of my weight, you know, I have to go to special shops so that I can find clothes that properly fit me. Top sizes, I'm fine. Like, I can get t-shirts, I can get jumpers. My biggest issue is trousers, pants or jeans, or whatever you want to call them. Finding ones that are comfortable, that fit me properly, or fit at all. I can't just go into Asda and get a cheap pair of jeans or a cheap pair of trousers, because generally they don't have my size. You know, the cost of being bigger is actually obscene. You know, being smaller, you've got a lot more convenience out there in terms of clothing. Once again, yes, you might just turn around and say, well, do something about it then. But I'm sorry, it's not that easy. You might think it is, but for me it's really not. When I go to Disney, or mainly things like Universal, or other theme parks, it's really hard to get on rides. You have to sit in specific seats, so sometimes you get split from your friends, and sometimes even those seats don't fit. My problem is that I'm not just large in my belly, I'm also broad-shouldered and tall. It really doesn't make sense to me with a country like America that is so renowned for its people being overweight that its biggest theme parks don't accommodate the larger size of people. I know that's a lot of stereotype there and everything else, but why aren't these big theme parks accommodating to the people of a larger size? And I'm not just meaning belly, I am meaning broad-shouldered, tall as well, because you will see people who are thin as a rake, who are really, really tall, and they can't get on these rides because the harnesses don't fit on them properly. Why don't theme parks accommodate the larger size of people? So I've talked quite a bit about issues and badness. I think I should probably talk about the nicer side, the things that I've realised as I've grown older. The biggest thing, really, body size really doesn't matter. You know, the main thing that matters is that you're happy. So if you are happy with the size that you are at, then be happy. Fuck everyone else. Fuck everyone else's opinions. But you need to do what makes you happy. So if eating 10 cheeseburgers a day, having a big belly makes you happy, if you are a gainer and the whole gaining thing makes you happy, then do it. Be happy with the size that you want to be. Get bigger. One of the big things for me was that I never thought that I was good looking. I never thought anyone could like me. And it wasn't until I discovered the bear community and me coming out that I actually found that people were still attracted to me. And the thing is, now, growing up, you know, I realise that yes, straight or gay, there are people who will like this. You know, I might not find myself attractive, but other people would. I think that was one of the hardest things for me to come to terms with, was that I couldn't see that I was attractive to people. But I had people giving me compliments, saying that I was good looking, saying that they liked my belly, they liked my body size, they liked what I looked like. And that just didn't compute. It took me a good few years to realise, well actually, no, there are people out there that like me for me. They like me for the size that I am. And I don't need to go on a crash diet. I don't need to starve myself to make other people happy and so that I can find a relationship. So yes, I understand that some people love my body size. They think that I'm handsome, they think that I'm sexy. That's great. It's a huge compliment, and thank you so much. But me personally, I am not happy with my body size at the moment. I am too heavy. My belly is too big. I don't fit in to my clothes as well as I would like to. And I'm stubborn and I don't want to go out and buy a full new wardrobe of everything. I'd rather try and lose some weight, but once again, it's really, really hard to do so. I don't want it to just be one of those New Year's resolutions, I'm going to lose weight. But really my aim from now until June, when I go to Tidal Wave again, yes, I know I'm already talking about it, is that I would like to get back down to 18 stone. I think that's an achievable goal. I just need to work at it. But if you're having body issues, one of the things that I did, which I kind of recommend, and I know that people have a go at me for, but really it was about building my confidence, and it was about building that layer of, no, you're alright being you. Take selfies, take photos, have a good time, enjoy yourself, and like who you are. When you upload those photos, you will get positive comments. You may get negative ones, ignore them. But the positive comments, hold on to. Because there are people out there that think that you're beautiful. People that like the way that you look, that appreciate you for being you, they will like your photos, they will comment. And if you are having issues with body confidence, this actually really helps, because the people that are there commenting, liking and saying nice things about you, it will help you and your confidence, because you'll see that there are people out there that like you for the body size and the body shape that you are. Yes, you are more than a body shape and a body size, but if you are having real confidence issues with your body, you need some reassurance sometimes. And although it might seem a little bit narcissistic and like you're constantly looking in a mirror, it will help you to build some confidence. Anyway, so I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, guys. If you do have any issues that you want to talk about in terms of your body or anything at all, then there is always an ear willing to listen over here. It does help to talk and vent your feelings. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, guys, and I will see you next Wednesday. See you later. Love you. Bye. Hugs. Cuddles. Goodbye.